Okay, if you're watching this lesson, obviously you are interested in using Final Draft. I love this application. It's on the expensive side, but it's nice, it's polished, and I just don't jump on all the upgrades. So depending on which version of Final Draft you have, when you open it or do a new document, you're going to either see a template choice, which we'll choose scripts and screenplay, or it's just going to dump you into a new screenplay. And up at the top center here, you'll see a list of elements that make up the different parts of your screenplay. So for example, we've talked about scene headings. I'm going to start with that. And if I type E for exterior, Final Draft is going to prompt me with EXT. I can hit Tab to accept or just keep typing. And then I'll type in my brief description and then hit Tab again and be presented with the times of day or night. And when I select that, you'll see that Final Draft puts me on the next line automatically and assumes the action element, which is typically right. After a scene heading, then we jump into the action of the scene. And remember, strong verbs, crisp writing, you get it. Now if I hit enter again, Final Draft assumes the action continues. But what if I want John to say something? Well, if I hit enter a second time, so for example, if I start up here, hit enter and then enter again, I'll be presented with the elements and I can choose C for character or just go down to it and hit enter. So that's one way to do that. A faster way, if I'm back up here again, if I hold down Command, at the very bottom of Final Draft, you'll see the different elements with associated numbers. So what that means is if you hold down Command and hit 3, it automatically puts you to a character line, which saves time. I'm going to type John and it capitalizes it automatically, hit enter, and then the element assumed is dialogue. So you can see these types of things just save you tons of time, right? Hit enter, it goes back to action. However, let's say I want another character to come up behind him and say something. Okay, so what did we just do here? Well, since we didn't know who was behind John, we just say voice off screen. So that tells the reader that someone's shouting at John or talking to him and he doesn't see them. We see the line of dialogue. John spins, sees Jared. Now why did we capitalize Jared? Well, we talked about this. Whenever you introduce a character for the very first time, you capitalize their name, give them an age, and then also, some characteristics. You want to shape this person in the reader's mind. Another way to quickly get to character, if I enter down after action and hit Tab, Final Draft assumes character. And if I like the character that's prompted there, I just hit the right arrow. Okay, so now what do we have? I just want to show you something that Final Draft will automatically do. Jared says a line, he stops, glares at John, and then he continues speaking. So Final Draft automatically adds continued here. So just a small formatting thing to note. Now let's say I'm going to hard cut to another physical location, another time of day, and maybe tomorrow morning. Well, Final Draft is assuming action, but if I type in capital INT period, it bumps me down and then changes to scene heading. So we've got a different physical location, a different scene heading, phone's buzzing, Sandy grabs it, hello. All right, we get it. She's obviously speaking into the phone. However, what if there was some confusion there and you wanted to make sure the reader knew she was speaking into the phone? Maybe there were other people there and she isn't saying hello and it's not obvious. Well, if you click back on character and hit Tab, Final Draft assumes a parenthetical. I could say something like that. Something else you can do is use scene transitions, and you can overdo this. I don't use them too much because even with this, the audience gets it, the reader gets it. Jared says this line and then we cut to morning. It's obviously not that night anymore. But if you want to use a transition, back up here, hit enter and enter again and choose transition. And then if I want to do cut to, maybe I'll just type C. I'll see my options there, move to the one I want and hit right arrow. And there we go. Okay, so let's say you've been writing for a while, but you decide, man, I don't want to use John as the character name anymore. Well, the good news is that's an easy change. Just go up to Edit, Replace Character, and choose the character name you want to change, and then type in the new name. Don't type it in all caps. Final Draft will handle any areas it needs to be capitalized. There we go. So we've got all caps here and then correct capitalization here. Okay, and just a couple other things. What if you hit enter, it goes to action, but you forgot and you say, and you're like, oh wait, that was supposed to be character. Well, you can backspace and tab over, or you can just go up here and choose character. And then it'll put it in the right spot for you. So just stuff like that will save you time. Now something else you'll want to do is edit the title page of your script. And you can do that with this little title page icon, or go to Document, Title Page from the menu, And here you can put in the name of your script, your name, delete that unless it's applicable, and you're good to go. And then if you want to export this as a PDF for someone to review, just go to File, Save as PDF, and then make sure include title pages checked if you want that title page on there. And something I'll do sometimes, just to keep things organized, is I'll put a version number down here. So if someone has the script, they can easily see what version they're reading. And that's really it. That's what you need to know to get started with writing your screenplay in Final Draft. Hope this is helpful. Hit up the community if you have questions, or if you find any cool things that Final Draft can do, go ahead and post those in the community because that helps everyone a lot. And you'll notice if you poke around in Final Draft that it can do things like, the digital corkboard and such, but I don't use it because I like Scrivener's better. I've tried using Final Draft before, and I'm sure their version of it will continue to improve and get better and better as new versions are released. But I ran into some issues. Scrivener does it so well. I just do research and outlining there and write my screenplays in something like Final Draft or Fade In, which we talk about in another lesson. So this is Kyler signing off. See you in another Write and Direct lesson very soon.